Yo, yo. Hey, hey. Man, these fellas real sweet, it's no dispute. No tickets at the door, I can't get you. No, we used to have something, but it's slick ruin. Yo, what's up, THATFIT gang? Welcome back to another Made by Mondays, the podcast where we set our intentions for the week to help us achieve our health and fitness goals. Hope you're all doing amazing. Chill little Sunday here at the moment, so we're going to get into a Made by Monday. But welcome. This week's one is obviously New Year, New Me resolutions are starting to fade, get out of the door. And the question is, how do we stay motivated, man? We made such a good start to the year. We're starting to get, lose our habits, lose our discipline. Our motivation is starting to go out the door. So, and it's something that's going to go on forever and ever, because we're not just going to wake up and be motivated. So we've got to go at it a better way in terms of setting up processes, principles, habits that are going to help us get us the results that we want, which are obviously going to give us the motivation to continue. Because if you're not getting the results, then sometimes it's hard to stay motivated. But the thing is, practicing delayed gratification, where you're thinking about the future rather than the now, helps you put yourself in a position to think about being motivated for the long term. So how do we even think about going about staying motivated? Well, the I'm not motivated is just another word for not being disciplined. And another word for discipline is just you just haven't built the habits that allow you to obviously stay motivated to see the results that you want to see and keep these processes for a long period of time. So the key is you need to build things around you that help you get into this state of being able to complete the task of eating well, training on the days that you need to, and doing the things around it to make sure that you are still staying on track. So the first thing is your morning routine. What does your morning routine look like? Does it look like something, especially if you train in the morning, if you train in the afternoon, after work or whatever, it's a different thing. But if you are training in the morning, then what does your morning routine? And in regards to that, a morning routine should be essential. I mean, for me, it works. It might not for you. Let me know if it does or not. But a morning routine really sets you up for the day, and especially if you're training in the morning to get yourself to the gym and training, or just to your workouts or whatever you do for exercise or training. So what does your morning routine look like? Do you give yourself enough time to get ready? Do you have your coffee? Do you wake up and have a cold shower if you have one? But what sort of things are you putting in the morning routine that's going to help you get there, get to wherever you need to go, get to your workouts, get to wherever you're going to train? What is getting you there? So you've got to think about that, because once you're there, you're getting it done anyway. And then once you're in the flow, you got that body flow, there's a bit of dopamine going around the body. You're motivated in the moment, you're motivated, but not until you get there. So it's creating the action to get you to take that action is the most important thing. And what are your shopping habits like? Are you shopping, are you going to the grocery store to get your weekly setup in terms of your food and nutrition? If you're not, what's the easiest thing to do? I'll just pull into a takeaway, pick this, pick that, stop and go, little snacks and stuff like that, which just isn't going to be adequate nutrition to get you to where you want to go. And also another thing that I want to think about is getting away from everything, getting away from being really meticulous about everything. I'll have to do this, do that. Take time out of your week to just go for a casual walk, like something that's still active or whatever you do, but time away from everything, time away from social media, time away from even your friends, to take time for yourself as well. So what are those things that you're doing to get away from everything, just to relax, just to spend time with yourself or with close ones, loved ones? What are you doing? You have to schedule in these times, otherwise you're just not going to do it. You're going to sit around, you're going to be on your phone or whatever. So really assign time to get yourself in the rhythm of doing things that help you feel better, get you in a better space. Because when you do move from a place of just feeling good, you're most likely to go and take that action. So the other thing is change. Sometimes I think, for me, sometimes it's like, oh, what is it going to be like when I get there? But sometimes now I've sort of changed my thinking. It's like, what if I don't do this action? What if I don't eat well? What if I don't train? And I start to think, and it's just like, well, I'm not going to feel good, so I'm not going to probably do the task that I need to complete each day to get me to where I need to go. And if I don't feel good, or if I'm not taking care of my body, not taking care of my nutrition, I'm not going to feel as good. I'm going to feel lethargic. I won't have no energy, which down towards the end of the week, it just compiles. And then by the end of the week, you don't want to do anything. And you haven't achieved anything during the week, which is obviously the worst thing that we want to do. We want to make sure that we're still ticking the boxes to get us to where we need to be. So think about not so much what am I going to get for this, but what happens if I don't do this? What happens if I don't get enough sleep? What happens if I don't train enough times during the week? What happens if I don't eat well enough during the week? What are the downsides of not doing these things? And monitor how everything feels as well. Like, you want to really get yourself to a point where your nutrition, your training is working together to help you maximize your results, right? So monitor how everything's feeling. If some foods aren't working for you as much as others, then just work with it. Change things up. If you have to change your processes, if you have to change your training, obviously we know that it's a build-up of over time that's going to get you the results that you need. But what are the things that are helping you get yourself into the best space to really get after it and take everything off that you need to during the week to obviously make it as successful as you can, obviously. So the other thing is, do the minimum every day rather than a maximum for one day. So what I mean by that is, stop trying to do everything perfect every day, because that's just hard. And when you don't do that, you feel less motivated because you weren't able to do the task that you needed to do to make it a successful day. And a successful day isn't changing the whole world in one day, but it's doing one thing better than you did yesterday. So do the minimum, not the maximum. If you get yourself into a space where you're feeling like you can really make the most of things, then do it. But when it comes down to it, do the minimum effective dose of training, get enough nutrition in and sleep to get the ball moving. That's the key. You want it moving in the right direction. It's better to move slowly in the right direction than go fast in the wrong direction, which is what we don't want. But the biggest takeaway is, what habits are you setting up? What processes are you setting up around your training, nutrition to get you going in the right direction? That's the key. So that's today's Made by Mondays. How do you stay motivated? Motivation is great. Sometimes we find it, but most of the time, you know, we're humans. We get distracted by a lot of things. But at the same time, you know, sometimes you just got to think about it. It could be your last day. So how would you really train? How would you really put in that effort if you knew that it was going to be your last training session, or if it was the last day you could eat? Well, if you... Anyway. Until next time, you guys know what to do. Stay fit, stay vibey. Let's go.